Hi luxurious queens, welcome back to Life with Lokie, and today I will be discussing everything you need to know about the Birkin 25 and the Birkin 30, the specifications, the pros and cons, mod shots, and most importantly, which one is better. So if you're thinking about getting your first Birkin, then watch on to find out more. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Lokie and I love talking about luxury and handbags and my favorite brand, Hermes. So if you're into content like this, then it would be fabulous for you to subscribe and join my corner. Alright, so without further rambling, let's get started. Now I have my newest Birkin here with me in the size 25 in Togo leather and in the color Beton, which I scored in my most recent Paris trip in April this year. And in comparison, I have here my birthday present to myself last year, which is this gorgeous Birkin 30 in ostrich leather in the color Sable. To start with, I will start with the basic information about these two sizes, like the dimensions, brand new prices versus resale prices, the weight, the suitability of use, and then I will talk about the pros and cons of each bag. Okay, so now starting with the most obvious, let's talk about the dimensions and specifications of the Birkin 25 and Birkin 30 in detail. Now, the Birkin 25 is called so for its length of 25 centimeters across. And of course, if you're new to Hermes, let me teach you something. For easy reference, the length of the bag is how they name the bag. Same for the Kelly 28, which also means it is 28 centimeters across. And for the Lindy 30, it also means it is 30 centimeters across. Well, so this bag has a height of 20 centimeters and a width of 13 centimeters, while the Birkin 30 obviously has a length of 30 centimeters, a height of 22 centimeters, and a width of 16 centimeters. So, although it may seem like 5 centimeters up front is a small difference, each bag is proportionally crafted, which also means the Birkin 25 is much smaller in its capacity. Alright, so now moving on to the handle drop, which is this part of the leather up to the edge of the handle. The Birkin 25 handle drop is 8 centimeters down, while that of the Birkin 30 is 12 centimeters down, which is also proportional to the bag. Now, although it may be a very small difference, but this is a very important feature which may be a deal breaker for some ladies, which we will discuss later. Now on to the weight of these bags. For comparison purposes, we will standardize it as Togo leather because we all know different leathers weigh slightly differently. So the weight of the Birkin 30 and imagine in Togo leather would be 860 grams, while that in the Birkin 25 in Togo leather is 625 grams. This is fairly obvious because the smaller the bag, of course, the less leather used to craft it, which also means the lighter the bag. And of course, if you intend to purchase this bag to run errands and for long hours, remember that every gram counts. So the Birkin 25 is significantly lighter than the Birkin 30 when it is completely empty. Now, let's talk about the interesting point about the price of both of these bags brand new in the boutique and the resale price at the resellers for this year. Well, from the Hermes boutique, the Birkin 25 in Togo leather costs 7,400 euros, which is equivalent to $10,440 Singapore dollars from the flagship store, while the Birkin 30 in Togo leather will cost 8,150 euros, which is equivalent to 11,500 Singapore dollars. Now, looking into the pre-loved market in Singapore for these two sizes, in specifically the Togo leather, well, we have a range because each bag is different in its color, the condition, and the year of make. However, the Birkin 25 tend to run from 20,000 Singapore dollars and upwards to about 38,000 Singapore dollars, while the Birkin 30 price in the resale market ranges from 18,000 Singapore dollars to 29,000 Singapore dollars. I will leave the prices down on screen for your comparison if you ladies would like to take note of that when doing price referencing and comparison to any reseller shops in your area. Of course, bearing in mind that smaller bags are in trend right now, so you may notice that the smaller the bag, the higher the price it is on the resale market, which is inversely proportional to its boutique price. Interesting, isn't it? Well, now we will talk about the similarities of each bag, as we have already talked quite a bit about the differences of each bag. At face value, the bag has two top handles. Well, we will use the Birkin 30. So the bag has two top handles and absolutely no attachment points for a shoulder strap. Okay, and it has a front turn lock and a flap for the bag closure whenever you just want to pop it over. Well, there are these two sangles, which in my opinion, I feel are more for decorative purposes. On the sides here, and on the bottom we have 4 feet. Now internally, right, there is a patch pocket on one side here and a zippered compartment on the other side there, right? So the Birkin is, after all, an open tote bag, and given its rattan silhouette, it gives off a very casual yet classy vibe, which is definitely very easy to carry for most occasions. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of each size. Starting with the Birkin 25, I really love its compact size. Given it's a small bag and I'm usually a person who does not like to carry too much in my bag, I feel that the Birkin 25 is enough to hold everything I need on a casual day out. However, this can be a con for the larger size Birkin 30 because I then find that the Birkin 30 can be too spacious because of its large capacity if I don't carry too much in it. And that will also mean my items will be swimming around inside the larger Birkin 30. But for some people who intend to use this bag for work to carry folders and laptops, then you may want to consider the Birkin 30, as it can hold much more office items and potentially carry you through the day with more practical use. I have done a video comparing the Birkin 30 and the HAC 32, which I attempted to fill it full in that video, which I will leave the link up here for your reference. So it really depends on your lifestyle and what you intend to use your Birkin for. But overall, a larger capacity in the Birkin 30 would also mean able to keep your hands free for more practical purpose, which is an advantage for the Birkin 30. Moving over to point 2, which is the suitability of use, the Birkin 25 is the perfect bag to carry from day to night. So you can bring it to work in an office setting, and then over to a casual lunch date or a business meeting, or even to a nice afternoon tea or brunch with friends. And moving on to the evening, it is also perfect for a casual evening date and dinner. However, putting in 5 centimeters more with the Birkin 30, I feel that this bag may be a bit too big for events in the later evening. I would say the Birkin 30 is definitely more appropriate as a day bag for me. And of course, this is all in perspective of a petite frame person like myself, as I stand at 1.68 meters. To be honest, I don't carry my Birkins to work, but rather I use them on weekends, for casual occasions, and I have to say I rarely bring my Birkin 30 out since I purchased it, as I feel it does sit a tad too large on me and can appear too boxy and office looking for casual occasions. As of now, I sometimes use it for daytime shopping, and that's about it. As for the Birkin 25, I've also tried carrying it as a clutch in the daytime, which is a fun look, which is hard to do the same for the Birkin 30. Moving on to point number 3, which is another pro for the Birkin 25, is that the smaller the bag, the better for it to hold its shape. As bag lovers, we all know that luxury bags of soft leather can slouch over time because gravity does exist, and that will also mean slouching in both the Birkin 25 and the Birkin 30 will eventually happen. And although it is held up by these frames, over time the Togo leather does slouch, and you can see it more evidently near the corners like here after years of wear. But I must say that the Birkin 25 may hold its shape longer than the Birkin 30, mainly because of the smaller distance from here to here and less overall leather on the panels, which also means less weight, for the overall sagging down on itself. I mean, it is a very minor point to note, but it is worth talking about. And of course, like all intelligent luxury bag lovers, we protect our bags with bag shapers and store it the right way for our bags to look as good as new. And our last point, which is a con for the Birkin 25, is ultimately its short handle drop. And of course, proportionally, a smaller bag will also mean a shorter handle. I consider myself quite lucky as I can run my Birkin 25 up to my forearm, which is my favoriteest way of carrying a bag, but I can just about get it through. I know not all ladies can carry it that way as the handle drop is not generous enough, which also means they have no way but to carry the Birkin 25 solely as a top handle bag, which also means they cannot be hands-free. And of course, bearing in mind about wearing bracelets like the Cartier Just Unclou or the Love bracelet when carrying the Birkin 25, I feel that you have to be very intentional and very cautious when sliding the bag up the forearm, because I don't want the accessories to snag the twilly or scratch the leather of the bag handles on the Birkin 25. On the other hand, the Birkin 30 with a handle drop of 12 centimeters is more generously sized. You can see there's lots of gap here and probably easier to wear for most of us. That said, it can be carried easily on the forearm or as a top handle, which can be a lifesaver in some occasions. Well, that sums up my pros and cons of the Birkin 25 and the Birkin 30. And let's finally answer the million-dollar question. Which size is better? Well, if you are petite size like me and stand at 1.68 meters and of course will be carrying your Birkins only for casual purposes and not for work, then my favorite size would be the Birkin 25. I love its small, cute silhouette against my frame. I love how practical it is as a small tote, and it's large enough to fit just what I would bring on a shopping day out to the mall. Given its small size, it is way lighter to carry for hours and hours. The short handle drop does not bother me as I have a rather slim wrist and forearm, so I'm able to carry this bag as a top handle or on the crook of my arm, which also means keeping myself hands-free. Also, looking at the investment value of this bag, it does cost less from the Hermes boutique as compared to a Birkin 30, but can fetch a potentially higher price in the resale market. Of course, I have no intention of selling this bag, and I don't consider my bags as investment in any way, but just sharing my 2 cents worth of this bag if you're considering of getting your first Birkin. I know it is a lot of money, so it is fair to do your research and get as many opinions as you may wish before settling on your first Birkin, and all the best, ladies. Well, I hope this video was helpful in more ways than one in comparing the Birkin 25 with the Birkin 30 and deciding which one is better. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and do leave me a thumbs up if this helped, and a super thanks or a super like down below if you think it was fabulous. I hope you subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more practical luxury bag tips to come. Take care and see you next week, Queens. Goodbye.